because I have a different opinion of pre-workout. See, I like to take pre-workout. I don't really like stimulant ones. I like to take stimulant-free, which helps me. Hey?
Pussy.
He likes the bubblegum flavour.
But the pre-workout. Oh, I got absolutely roasted there. Alright guys, the coals are on. Welcome to episode number 28 of the Sunday Smoke. It's a podcast about something. Now today we've got a very special guest. It's our first female guest on the podcast. We have Alexia Hamad. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now, as I say, whenever we bring a guest on, normally I ask this to Jackson, but how you feeling today, Lexi?
I'm feeling good. Good.
Excited?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm a bit nervous, but good.
That's right, yeah. I can see the hands are shaking a little bit, but it's not your first time being on a podcast.
No.
Have you been on 2 before?
I've been on 3, so I'm quite the professional.
Yeah, that's it. She's a professional podcaster.
Came ready with the notes and everything.
Little palm cards like she's doing the school speech. First of all, just give us a bit of your background, like, your age, growing up, how you came to be where you are today. A bit on your background.
So long story short, I am 22 years old. I grew up in Sydney. I don't know, joined the army when I was 17.
Yeah.
It was a little detour to what I am doing now. So I always knew that I wanted to be in nutrition and training, but decided to join the army for a few years. So I moved out of home when I was 17, which was a massive growth experience, which was great.
Yep.
And then I moved back to Sydney last year. And
Welcome back.
Thank you. And so now I'm an online coach for nutrition and training, and a PT. And that's about it. That's my story.
Now we know Jackson. He loves the army. Almost joined himself.
Don't start with that story.
So I want to open the floor to Jackson to ask for the first question of the podcast. Because I know I want to really touch down on the on your time during the army, but I want Jackson to start with the line of questioning.
The line of questioning from my experience of going through the interview and then pulling out. It's a bit of background. I went to go for the job interview and I didn't know that they expect you to do all this study and come in with these notes. And what was that interview process like for you? Was it nerve-wracking in some kind of way? Like, did you know what you were getting into? Is that 100% what you wanted to do, or were you just kind of shooting the shit?
Well, I did my research beforehand, so I knew the jobs that were out there.
So nothing like me.
Complete opposite.
Well, going in as a gap year, there were only select roles. Yeah. I actually went in with my first preference as infantry, and the lady said that I should probably choose something different because not many females make it through infantry. I have quite a few friends that made it through actually, but I decided to put driver specialist as my first job. But yeah, I was prepared. I did a lot of research, watched a lot of YouTube videos. I feel like I was pretty knowledgeable in what I was getting myself into.
Yeah. So you ended up getting into driver?
Yeah, so I got approved for all 3 jobs, but I chose driver. And yeah, it was good. I got my driver's license. So I went into my L's, skipped the P's, went straight to my...
Wait, they do that?
Yeah, I was a learner driving a manual truck, which was like insane because I could barely drive an automatic car. But yeah, no, it was good.
Mad. Yeah. So you spent, all right, and from there, so you were in the, so you moved to Victoria for the army?
Yeah, so the first 3 months I was in Wagga Wagga for the basic training, and then I went to Victoria for another 3 months for the driver training, and then I moved to Brisbane for 2 years to be on the actual base. Yeah,
and how was that experience being on base?
It's like you never really left work. Yeah. I never moved off base, because you could do that, but I lived on base for the whole time, and now that I think about it, it's weird. You live like 300 meters away from your actual job.
Yeah.
So there's no reason to be taking a sickie.
No reason to be rocking up late.
No, otherwise they'd literally come knocking on your door. So it kind of, I shouldn't say this, but it's like you're in a prison.
Yeah, that's fair.
That reminds me of the time when I was working at a supermarket during school.
Yeah.
And my boss lived on the same street as me, and I pulled a sickie and then he caught me playing basketball outside in my driveway
Oh,
when I pulled the sickie at work.
poor effort. You got to wake up earlier than that, man. You can't be seen in public if you're going to call a sickie.
Nah.
You got to play it smarter than that. But
So what did a day-to-day life look for you? And I know a lot of people out there, it's very kind of not mysterious would be the right word, but there's a lot of like hidden parts of the army, that whole defense force. They don't really know what it's like. What's it like on the inside? What's a day-to-day life kind of look like?
So it was 7:30 a.m. training session with your like squadron, your battalion, whatever.
Yep.
So yeah, PT, and then 9 a.m. start, where pretty much if you have any jobs on that day, you do them, like driving to a different base to pick up things or to do whatever task it is, you know, work on the trucks. If you had nothing to do, you'd sweep the floors outside. You'd honestly be sweeping in the rain because there's nothing to do.
Sweeping in the rain.
Yeah, just silly tasks. Like there were days where we just play Wii, like in the back cage, just to look busy.
The back cage.
So
Wow.
like a hidden
Wow.
a hidden cage, right? You just play Wii and you just sit there on your phone for majority of the day. So
Yeah.
I shouldn't say this, but honestly, it was very mind numbing.
Yeah.
Just it wasn't stimulating.
A lot of mundane tasks.
Yeah, so that's why it kind of made me realize I'm wasting my time here and wasting my potential.
Yeah.
But that's pretty much your day. So if you had any tasks, you do the tasks. Otherwise, you'd sit there looking busy. And then you'd go home at 4 p.m. and the rest of the afternoon is yours.
Interesting. So like, obviously it's a fairly, would you say it's a fairly male dominated?
Yeah, I would say that.
area?
I would say it's probably honestly like 85% male.
Mhm.
So was that kind of your first choice? Like you were 17, you enlisted. Was that you knew you wanted to do that, like right from the beginning, or is it just kind of something you stumbled into?
Yeah, so like I said, I always knew I was going to be in training and nutrition, but I think it was maybe year 10 where I saw this opportunity. And I feel like it was kind of a spur of the moment decision because I was going through a lot of stuff mentally and like during family life.
Yeah.
And it was kind of a rebellious choice. I was like, I need to get out. I just want to leave everything, want to run away from everything. So I ended up joining. But yeah, I would say it's kind of spontaneous.
Yeah. So it wasn't like a childhood passion or dream. It was just something that spur of the moment. That must mean you're quite spontaneous as personality wise.
Oh, not really.
Nah.
It's like planned spontaneous.
Yeah.
Plan spontaneous, like spontaneous, but I'll plan 12 months out.
Oh,
Yeah, that's it.
100%.
I'm sure your iCal is
Scheming every night.
very full.
Pretty much.
And just for the viewers, I forgot to mention before, we've got Han there from Euphoria Shisha in the background. He's our audio technician for today.
Hi guys, what's
Gonna
happening?
be chiming in.
And one of the
with his 2 cents.
and he was actually the person who recommended you come on the podcast. And when I asked him a little bit about you, he said she's so organised to the minute, day by day to the minute.
Oh yeah, you should see my Google Calendar.
Yeah, that's
my biggest flex.
Right, that's if
How
it
do you
was.
feel about running late to things?
Oh, I can't do it. It gives me anxiety. I hate being late. Otherwise,
Yeah.
I just. Oh.
I like that, courteous.
It's bad.
Jackson, he loves rocking up late because then the attention's on him.
Yeah,
And
that's
everyone starts
partially
saying,
true.
yeah, because then
I'm,
everyone.
I'm telling you, Jackson. As soon as Lex introduced me to Google Calendar, brother, 24 hours are very useful in your day. So it's cracking. Like, get into it.
But anyway, we've gone a bit off the rails there. So you were there for 2 years.
Yeah.
You made the decision to move on.
Mhm.
What did you do when you finished up?
So before I left, I was studying PT just so I had a job to go into when I left the army.
Yep.
But when I left, I pretty much went straight into my PT gig, and then I was there for 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I always kind of felt like I was gonna go back to the army, so I went to reserves, but I never actually showed up. So
Yeah.
now I'm kind of inactive. So
You went to reserves, but you never showed up.
yeah, pretty much
Don't they have like a minimum, like it's like a Tuesday every fortnight or something?
something like that.
But you
Yeah.
just didn't turn
No,
up.
I was scared.
Yeah.
Scared for what?
I don't know. Like leaving, you kind of feel,
Bad?
yeah, like
Or guilty
you,
or something?
you don't deserve to show your face again because you've just left like the full-time role.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh,
Yeah.
can I swear on here?
Yeah, go, yeah.
So now it's like you're a shit
Fucking
cunt
oath,
going
fucking
there,
oath.
you know?
Don't swear.
I didn't know, like, so is there like kind of like beef or like disdain between like the full timers and the reserves? Like,
Kind of.
do the full timers feel like the reserves are like fake?
Yeah, because, well, now that you think about it, like, it's such a sweet lifestyle. Like, you get to go to the army 1 or 2 days a week. You get the best of both worlds. But if you go full time, you've dedicated like your whole life to that, like all your days. So going part time, I guess it's kind of like, I don't know how to explain it. This is just my opinion.
The boys
But
kind of moment.
yeah, you know.
No, that's fair. So, when you moved on, you moved on to PT. What made you want to, what made you want to get into PT?
Well, I love training.
Yeah.
If I could spend all day, every day in a gym, I would. It's
Yeah?
like my second home.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to be able to teach people how to train and live a healthy, balanced lifestyle.
Yep.
And I think there's like a big lack with certain areas in the fitness industry. So I just wanted to be able to bridge that.
Yeah. What would those what gaps are you trying to bridge?
The lack of the use of Google Calendar.
Well, when I first got into like my fitness journey, I know a lot of girls can relate, but it was more about just being skinny and doing cardio and how much you could starve yourself.
Yeah.
So I want to get people away from that.
Yep.
You know, that is not the way to live. It's not the way to achieve a happy lifestyle. It's not the way to achieve, you know, your body, whatever you want. It's just not a way to live, because it was just always an anxious, self-conscious, you know, never good enough state. So I just wanted to be able to stop that and create, you know, strong, healthy people.
Yep. Would you say, if you want to get a bit personal, were you going through those similar struggles as you started your sort of gym journey?
Yeah.
And it's something that you learned. Was that something that you learned over time, or was that something that you just sort of knew and wanted to bridge that gap as soon as you went into it?
No, it's like everything I teach has been from my experience.
Yeah.
So pretty much half of my high school years was starving myself, was doing cardio, was watching everything I ate. So pretty much my whole childhood, my whole adolescence was that. I missed out on so many occasions, so many events, because I cared more about how I looked than how I was feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like that's the story for a lot of girls, you know, where, like you said, they're kind of obsessed with, you know, not eating. Or one of the biggest things I hate is, like, I want to tone. Like, because it's like a myth, you know. You're not going to, just because you lift weights doesn't mean you're going to, you know, look like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like, that's not,
Yeah, it takes so
that's
long
not
to
how it
build
works.
muscle.
Like,
yeah. Well, that's what gear is for. If you want to end up like Arnie.
you know, I completely agree with that. A lot of people they've got like the misconception of, you know, all I got to do is cardio and not eat and then I'll be healthy and you might be skinny, you might be light, you know, you might, and that might be what you want, but it's also not healthy to do stuff like that. You know.
Yeah.
And
do you come across a lot of girls that, I'm assuming most of the people you train or mentor are females?
Yeah.
For the most part?
Yeah.
Do you come across a lot of girls that come in with that same mentality? And how hard is it to train them out of that mindset?
Not so much the younger generation anymore, just because they have TikTok, right? And there's so many TikTok videos on lifting weights and eating all this food. So I feel like it's not too much of what I went through. But when I coach the older females, I have a few that are over the age of 40, they're still in that mindset that carbs are bad and they have to do cardio and they have to eat less. But as soon as I start coaching them and I teach them to eat more, it's like, wow, my whole life I've been trying to reach for something that is just inaccurate.
For the bulk of your clients that you have that come in, are they more from the older generation or from a younger?
So they're between the ages of 18 to like 45. So it's a big mix.
Oh yeah, so you get a bit of it, bit of everyone. And how do the routines that you set for people change based on age, or if it changes at all?
Well, of course it changes, because like a 45-year-old mum with 2 or 3 kids she doesn't have the same time as an 18-year-old. I don't really teach set ways. I teach more habits. So however they want to implement that into their lifestyle, that's kind of how they do it. So it's not so much them conforming to my plan, it's me conforming to what's going to suit their life.
Yeah.
So when, for example, when you're coaching, you're training, you said that you were doing a lot of online mentoring as well, things like that. Do you connect with people individually? And when you do that, do you personalize each thing for each individual, or do you have like kind of a general plan and you just tweak it a little bit depending on, each person?
Yeah, so it really just depends on kind of what level of coaching they get, but 95% of it is individualized. I just think everybody needs an individual plan. Nobody is the same.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say everybody is different. Everybody has different habits, like background, history, everything. So everything is individualized.
Interesting. So for you and your personal training and your journey, what does a typical day look like for you? I'm assuming you stick to a pretty strict schedule, right?
Yeah.
According to the Google Calendar.
According to the Google Calendar. But like, are we talking, you're strict on training 3 days a week, 6 days a week, 7 days a week, like no days off kind of thing?
No, it's 5 days a week.
5 days a week.
But my day-to-day, depending if I'm going to work or not, or if I'm working at home, it's usually a morning walk and then work, gym, eat, study, wind down, sleep.
Repeat.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's all in the Google Calendar.
That's it.
Even the meal timings.
Yeah. How important is that morning? I'm glad you said morning walk, because I think that a morning walk is like so important, like for mental health and everything. Like crack of dawn, you get up, you go for a walk, you put your AirPods on or whatever, or your headphones, and you listen to a podcast, you listen to music or anything. Like how important is that part of your day in relation to your full routine? Is that something that like sets you up for like a good day when you go for a good walk in the morning?
I would say half. I mean, sometimes I dread it.
Yeah.
But I know how good I feel going on a walk, listening to a podcast, listening to music. So I would say not only a morning walk is important, but just a morning routine in general.
Yeah,
it's
the routine,
kind of how you start your day.
Yeah.
Leads to everything else during your day.
Let's see, we need to get Jackson on one of these routines. What's your morning routine, Jackson?
I wake up. No, actually, I've been a lot better. I've been waking up quite early. I told you about this a while ago.
Hannah's loving it in the background. Yeah, He's
laughing for no reason.
Yeah.
No, like, I, for the most part, when I'm working from home, because I'm working from home 3 days a week now, I'm getting up, I'm getting my coffee, I'm going to the gym, or I'm going to the gym, then I'm getting my coffee, start my working day. To be honest, it depends on the day. Either we're doing something for this, or we got a lot of stuff on. I try to keep a lot of my life balanced socially. Yeah. Whether that means I try to get the gym out of the way in the morning, right? I feel like I train better in the mornings, and two, when I finish work, then I have a lot more time for social interaction and things like that. Do you feel like that's a big part of your mentoring as well? Like training people on how to be balanced in their lifestyle, not just their workout routines?
Oh, for sure. I mean, some people find it hard to make time for the gym, whereas, I don't know, me personally, it's hard to relate. I plan my whole day around the gym. Yeah. But yeah, I preach balance a lot. If my clients are going out for meals or they're going away, it's like, all right, take a step back. The plan will be here. When you come back, there's no need to stress about it. It's a very balanced approach.
And then from that, Jackson, you made a point before, time of day to train. For you personally, when's your ideal time to train? Because some people like to train crack of dawn, middle of the day, the 5 p.m. rush.
Oh, bro, don't get me started on that 5 p.m. rush.
Well, you can't find a bench press.
Gym Bro Central.
When's your ideal time to train?
I would say 11 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Oh, that's the best.
It
That's
is.
the best.
11
Gym's
a.m.
empty
till 2 p.m.
when the gym is the most empty.
Oh
Yes.
yeah, empty gym.
Yes. I mean, if I'm not at work, because I
Yeah.
work from home as well some days, but yeah, during the day is best for me because I can like plan my meals perfectly.
Yeah.
It's so empty. I can film without anybody else like watching me, my tripod.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's good.
Not the risk of no one judging you on your during your workout routine while you got your tripod out.
I mean, people are gonna judge anyway, so
Yeah.
fuck them.
It's
But
all fake. It's all fake news. It's like, what are you doing? It's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
That's-
So
yeah. No, go.
for you, so you mentioned, you know, when I'm not at work or when I'm working from home or things like that. In your situation, right? What are you like? What does a working day look like for you? So you go for your walk, you come back, you do your work. What's work like for you? What does that look like every day?
so a few days a week I work in a supplement store, so that's when I'm physically out of home.
Mhm.
But when I'm doing my own business work, it would be, you know, writing programs, meal plans, updating client plans, any business like behind the scenes back end work. So that's pretty much it.
And do you find it's hard to manage a business like this? Is it extremely time consuming? Is it like you're working 8 hours a day, you know, behind your laptop planning all this stuff? Or do you feel like you have a lot of flexibility when you're running this kind of business?
There's a lot of flexibility. For a long time I had no structure, I had no back end system, so it was kind of very messy. But once you get that sorted, it's so much easier because everything just flows. I guess it'd be like any normal job. If you don't have things set up correctly, well, then it's just a mess. So it's very flexible.
Nice. And how do you find working in a supplement store?
I love it. I
yeah.
actually love it.
Discount
Yes.
Central.
So good. And you just, I don't know, I just get this like ego thing when I get to tell guys what to do. I don't know, that just sounds bad, but you know,
No,
like
respect. No,
in a
no,
gym
respect.
setting,
When you know your
Yeah.
shit, why not?
yeah, but in a gym setting, people just expect guys to know more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess because that's
Yeah.
kind of, it's more a masculine environment. But when they come in asking for advice, I'm like, fuck yeah.
That's it. I'll tell you what beta alanine does. Like, but with supplementation, because that's obviously a big thing in gym culture. Like everyone jumps on supplements, protein powders, pre-workouts, BCAAs, everything. If you had to narrow supplements down, which ones do you think would be the most important?
Definitely protein,
Yeah.
creatine, and I'd put pre-workout up there. I mean, it's not necessary, but
yeah.
who doesn't
Nah,
love pre-workout?
I
I've tried
agree.
to stay away from the pre-workout because I hear the horror stories about the addiction that goes with it.
What?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
You don't? Do you have it every day when you train?
Yeah, but that's because I like the like caffeine high. It's just
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, but
I-
look, I could be completely ill-informed here,
Yeah.
right? Because I don't take it, so I can't, you know, speak from personal experience.
It's another episode of Correct Jackson about to come in.
No, but I've heard like, you know, people how they like. This is gonna sound bad, but like an addiction when you're taking some sort of, you know, chemical, whatever it might be, you know, you
become
smoking
reliant.
Tobacco,
Mm.
you become reliant on it. So
Yeah.
all of a sudden, you're feeling lethargic when you don't have it at the gym, or you're taking it every day. So now it's not hitting like it used to.
Yeah.
You know, when you first started taking it, you went crazy. Now you're taking it every day before you train, and it's just normal.
Yeah.
Do you feel like that's true, or is that a bit of a misconception?
I reckon it's true because once you get addicted to the feeling of the energy and the focus and the buzz, of
Yeah.
course you want that all the time.
Yeah.
So yeah, you shouldn't have it every single day, but I
Just
don't
when
know.
you're going for your big lifts.
Which
Just
is
for the-
every day.
Yeah.
But-
Every day is big lift day.
Yeah, I know. It can be addictive. I feel like everything in life can be addictive, but
Balance. That's what
Yeah.
we were talking about before. But balance.
yeah.
Because I have a different opinion of pre-workout. See, I like to take pre-workout. I don't really like stimulant ones. I like to take stimulant-free, which sounds like it defeats the purpose. But the pre-workout
Pussy.
for me, hey?
Pussy.
Pussy. He likes the
No, but the
bubblegum flavour.
But the pre-workout. Oh, I got absolutely roasted there.
I'm
But
kidding.
the pre-workout for me, it's not so much because I'm pretty caffeine resilient. It like takes a lot of caffeine for me to actually get buzzed, if anything, you know. So for me, the pre-workout is like you take it. It's like, okay, I have to go to the gym now. I
That
have
makes
to
sense.
go.
It's more like a mental thing,
It's
right?
a mental thing more than anything,
No,
and it does help. It does help. but it's more the mental thing. It's like, okay, I've taken my pre-workout. I have to go to the gym. Let's pump a workout.
Well, I feel like that would be the equivalent for, say, your morning walks, right? It's like a mental thing because you're starting your day the same way you start it every day. You've started your routine the same way you start your routine. It's a mental thing. It's about getting into a mindset. You know?
It's the routine. It's like, I say that as well when my clients feel unmotivated. It's the routine that you set behind it. So if you know you're having your pre-workout, you're getting dressed, you're listening to your tunes, it sets the routine for what you're about to go and do. So then psychologically, you're prepared.
All right. Speaking of tunes, this is a topic that I'm, very passionate about.
Well versed in.
Yeah, very well versed in. What does your workout playlist look like?
Oh my God, hard style.
Yeah.
It's hard if it's not burning my eardrums. I don't want it. I don't want it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Right, that's
So you don't listen to like slow jazz music at the gym, nothing like
country.
Definitely not.
that?
No.
No country.
No.
What's yours?
Look, I'm gonna be a bit of a hypocrite here, but like it's a bit of a cop out answer. But I've got like a mix of everything. Depends on what I'm feeling.
He's one of those. What a boring answer.
I just said it's gonna be a cop out answer. Don't get upset.
No, I don't get the mix.
But if I'm actually like, if I'm lifting heavy or I'm doing one of those really high intense days, I'm generally listening to some like hard rock or like that Metallica kind of shit.
Yeah, I feel that. You know what I love listening? I love listening to the WWE theme songs.
Oh,
that
bro.
G's me up.
Okay, there's this meme. There's this meme that I saw, and because I saw the meme, I started doing it. Right.
Yeah.
So I'm a big Spider-Man fan, right?
Uh-huh.
So the theme, the track from the original Spider-Man movie. There was this meme that I saw, where it's like you're working out really hard at the gym and you're like going for like your max bench press or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And it's like this guy with his earphones in and it's got what song he's playing and it's like the final theme exit to like the Spider-Man movie. So I started downloading like all these soundtracks from like all these like superhero movies and shit like that.
Yeah.
And I wanted to test it out to see if it worked. Yeah. So I do that now too. So they're part of my playlist as well. Not that I do it all the time, but sometimes it's just fun.
The playlist is so important. Yeah, it makes or break, and there's nothing more depressing, and I'm sure you can agree with this, there's nothing more depressing than forgetting your headphones.
Oh my God. And you have to listen to the gym music like Taylor
Taylor
Swift.
Look, can I be honest? There's actually quite a few times where I train without AirPods, headphones, anything.
Sorry to hear that.
No, look, I don't mind it because like, especially if I'm doing a lot of plyometric stuff, like, and I'm moving around a lot.
Yeah.
I like kind of not having anything there because I can move a lot more free.
Just using your trauma as pre-workout.
No, like like you said before about the whole addiction thing, and it becomes sometimes for me I feel like it's good to train without music because I don't want to feel like I can only train with music. I want to be able to train in like a peaceful, quiet outdoors. You don't have to have music to train, although it does help.
Yeah. No, that's fair. So if you like full like DEFCON
yes
hard music, does that mean you like music festivals?
So I've never actually been to one, but I'm going to my first rave in about 6 weeks. So
congratulations.
Thank you. I've been practicing my hacking, my muzzing, just getting ready.
God.
So
are we going to get a live muzz on the podcast?
We're not, but I'm channeling.
We're not, but
I'm channeling my inner Eshe, so I'm going to buy my first pair of TNs soon.
Oh, beautiful. Yes. He loves it.
I have to.
Here we go. Hannah's going to try. I think
Hannah's going to chime in, please.
Bro, seriously, get onto a TikTok. They're actually coming together.
No, actually?
Yeah,
they're still pretty bad, but...
Well, while we're talking about TikTok, what's the TikTok plug?
What is it? I think it's Lex1Fit.
Lex1Fit for everyone. Go have a look. And look out for those new TNs that are coming in hot.
I don't know what colour I should get. Should I get all black or all white?
Oh, all white's dangerous.
No, all black for sure.
White's a dangerous thing, especially if you're going to a festival.
They're going to get so dirty.
Yeah, it's going to get...
I don't understand people that wear white shoes like just around or at the gym. Like I see all these old guys in these like white Asics. I'm like, why?
Oh no, the white, like, is it New Balance? Or the
New
fillers,
Balance.
like the dad shoes?
Yeah. The really high like socks.
Yes, short shorts.
The short shorts.
The belt, the brown
The short shorts have made a massive comeback.
Only certain people can pull them off though.
There's this one guy at my gym and I love him. I'm not going to call him out or anything, but he's a PT at my gym and like this big bulky guy, really nice guy, but he's always rocking these short shorts just because he wants to show off his hamstrings.
Hey man, if you worked hard for those hamstrings.
Yeah, I know, but
Good on you, man.
bro, have you ever seen people wear thongs at the gym?
Oh my god, I was about to say, I've seen a guy wear Birkenstocks, so like the Jesus sandals.
Oh my god, they're bad enough as it is.
No, I have a pair. What's wrong with them?
Birkenstocks.
Ew.
Yeah.
Why?
It's a bit of an ick.
No,
be
why?
To
What
be
do you mean
honest.
with socks as well though? That's 10 out of 10.
Socks.
Socks. With socks,
socks.
at the gym.
Does
that's
it help?
horrible.
Does it help you if you're lifting? Or?
Well, I don't wear them to the gym. Oh, you know what's making a comeback into the gym?
Yeah.
Crocs.
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 That's the ick.
Okay, low key, they do look very comfy. I'm sure they're the most comfy.
No, they're just like plastic fishing shoes.
Aren't they? I've heard they're comfy as.
I don't
I've
know.
never
Never
got-
worn them. Never will.
You've never worn a pair of Crocs?
Maybe when I was like 8 years old, but full-on adults wearing Crocs to the gym now.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
a
know.
bit-
I didn't get it.
Oh, I think that's more.
It's fashion. It's
what's
a fashion statement.
What's more of a nick, Birkenstocks or Crocs?
Crocs.
Crocs are like, yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. What about
You got
those?
the-
What about those like shoes that have like the individual toes? you know, like the sock shoes.
like they go.
They make me
like they go on scuba
uncomfortable. That's like for their toes to grip onto the wall or when they're doing like their bar Spider-Man stuff. It's just
Oh.
weird.
I reckon Hannah rocks a pair of those to the the toe shoes.
Right, if I was to wear those, Lex will kick me out. Like, straight away. Good old Chucks, nice and flat.
Oh, you know what? While we got you on the microphone, actually, because you said that your majority of your clients are female,
Yep.
but I'm sure Hannah's done a few of your because you guys are good friends.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's done a few of your workouts. Hannah,
Yes.
how are the workouts that Lexi puts you through?
To be honest,
Don't sugarcoat it.
no, look, I'll be dead set. Like in the beginning, you know, I was in the gym. I got my headphones in. I just do my thing, whatever. But
Hard style.
seeing it, no, just, you know, a bit of Boyz II Men, a bit of love music.
Celine Dion.
And I seen Lex, like I seen a lot of her TikToks and her Instagrams and stuff, and I was like, you know what, like, you know, I'll just, you know, see, maybe I'll follow one of her routines or whatever. And she's like, oh, do you like training legs? I was like, yeah, of course. It's like I train them 3 times a week. I go, you're taking
wow.
a piss.
Everyone,
Wow.
everyone says yeah, of course, until it actually hits
Until it
leg day.
happens. Yes.
Bro, she pushed me to my limits. Seriously, guys. I don't let anyone tell me how to train, but this girl really, really took me to my limits.
Yeah.
And I love it for that. It was good. It was
Yeah.
really, really good. So,
You know what? I reckon we do, Jack. I should have thought about this before the podcast. We should do a workout. We should go through one of your workouts. A leg day workout.
Oh.
A Sunday smoke leg day workout.
get
Yeah.
the
We'll do it on
crutches
a
out,
Sunday.
boys.
Yeah.
Seriously.
If you're game enough.
Yeah, we might not be able to walk for 2 weeks, but
They get pretty psychotic, I'm not going to lie.
yeah.
Yeah.
Do you
What
do
if-
those like really complicated exercises, or do you kind of just stick to the?
No, it's pretty basic. None
Yeah.
of those weird. What's something weird?
Like, what's the?
Do you
what's
do those like
the
leg
cable?
kick out ones?
Yeah,
Like,
that's the one I was thinking
I see
of.
these girls doing it at the gym all the
No.
time, where they're like kicking out with the cable. And
Hey man, they're
stuff.
just
No.
toning. They're just toning.
They're
the,
toning.
the booty blaster
I don't know.
program.
But I don't understand this. Like, just squat.
Yeah.
Like that's
What?
literally all. Like, I'm gonna run my leg day workout for you. All right?
Mhm.
Oh, here we can get a critique.
Yeah. Give me a critique. All right. So. And keep in mind, all right. Like I basically train 7 days a week, and I just keep it on rotation. I don't, because what I've done is I've decreased my volume each day. I'm trying to keep it under an hour of training, but I do it every day. But okay, I'm gonna stick to leg day. So I'm squatting. I'm always squatting. Lunges. I'm doing. I don't know what they're called. They're not deadlifts. They're like the straight bar, the straight leg.
So RDLs.
Yes.
Stiff leg deadlifts
Yes.
or
No.
Romanians.
I can't remember. Anyways, or sometimes I do good mornings. I try not to do the hamstring curl machine. I don't
Yeah.
rate it.
Why?
Yeah.
The lying down one or the sitting one?
Both. I just try to avoid it. I try to avoid a lot of isolation in general. Like, I actually think over the course of my whole workout routine for everything, I only do like 3 isolation exercises altogether. Right? I do actually, with the exception of calf raises. I do box jumps. I always try to implement plyometric stuff into the workout. And then I feel like there's something I'm leaving out. I do single leg presses.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it.
Okay.
But they're generally about 5 sets of each. With the squats and the leg presses, I'm doing relatively heavy. Everything else is relatively light stuff, and the calves.
So what would you say to that routine? What would you rate it? What would you rate it in comparison to the leg workout you'd put us through?
So is that once a week?
No, there's either 2 to 3 times a week, depending on the week.
But you do the same session like 3 times a week?
Pretty much.
And just
And
progressively overload?
Yeah, and I just progressive overload the whole time.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I like
Give
to
me
have
tips.
like different exercises, right? So you can definitely stick to the same movements, but just change it up a little bit.
Mm.
So what, like instead of front squat, instead of back squat, front squat?
Yeah, or do the hack squat.
You love a good hack squat. I've seen that
Oh,
come
I
up on
love
your
it.
Instagram a few times. Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
But yeah, just changing up exercises. Otherwise, I feel like your joints they'd be overloaded, especially if you're doing a lot of squat patterns. So your hips will get fried.
So I generally do like 1 month and then have like a deload week. So I'm just doing everything kind of light, chill.
Okay.
Nothing too.
I probably wouldn't say train 7 days straight though. Rest is important.
Well, that's when you build muscle.
That's what I used to. So that's what I used to do. I used to do the 6 days. I used to do the push pull legs thing,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
With the 1 day rest.
Yep.
But I gave up on that. I'm like, no, I'm just gonna go every day because if I don't go every day, then I'm just not gonna go at all.
Yeah.
But I just cut down the actual length of the workouts.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, when did this become a podcast about me and my workout routine? I'm gonna run my leg day workout for you. All right.
I know. Let's we want to learn about Jackson, man. We're smoking with Jackson today, not Lexi. But all right. So we've got Jackson's workout down. Run us through one of your leg workouts.
Okay, I'll run you through today's. Okay. So we started with some Smith machine step ups, which is so hard, and then the hack squat,
Mm-hmm.
which is pretty much just going until your legs just fall off.
Mm-hmm.
And then I did the seated leg curl, and then leg extension supersetted with dumbbell goblet squats.
I
Yeah.
love the goblet squat.
Yeah.
That's
but
top exercise.
yeah, it's just pushing your weights until you honestly physically can't get out another rep.
So you're all for pushing to failure, to
Oh,
absolute
100%.
failure.
I just
Yeah.
love it. It's when you reach your capacity, your potential, and then you just keep going.
Yeah, because it's a common thing I've seen around. It's like the reps that matter are the ones that start happening when it starts hurting. The ones before that, they're just leading up to it. But once it starts hurting, you start counting from there, essentially.
Yeah.
Do you find that working out to like complete failure, do you find that hinders progressive overload in a way? Because some days you might not be feeling it as much. So do you find that sometimes, or for some clients, they might find it harder to progress in the chain?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, a lot of it is mental.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to be ready to push yourself to that limit every single time. But, if you're always pushing to failure, I feel like it can fry your CNS, so, your adrenals and everything. So following a good plan and progressing each week will overcome that. But, yeah, I don't know. There's so many different ways you can train. I think most people don't train hard enough anyway, so...
Or they think they do.
Yeah, and if you say you're going to failure, like, are you actually going to failure? Are you actually pushing yourself that hard?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay. So keep that in mind, Jackson, for the future leg workouts, for your future routines.
For when we do one of your routines.
Yeah, I'm actually looking forward to it. My legs aren't, but that's
Hanna's ready to chime in.
I've actually got a good question for Lex, and this is, I guess, for everyone, whoever's training or whatever you do, I guess, in your life. How do you self-discipline yourself to make sure you get up to the gym every single day? You go to work, you on your grind, whatever it is. Like, what is it that you do specifically for yourself?
The morning walk in the Google Calendar.
just obsess over your Google Calendar. You're like, yes.
No, because like that's
So
I
organised.
see she trains.
Yeah.
Honestly, I've never seen anyone train as hard as she does. And then if we can apply what she does in her brain when she trains to everything we do, then surely we'll have a great outcome because she trains hard. That's a definite.
That means
you know
a
what
lot.
I mean? So, so what's your thing?
Well, one, it's like discipline. Motivation doesn't get you places, it's discipline. So just switching off that part of your brain that says, I don't want to do it today, because you know you have to. It's part of your routine, it's part of your life. That combined with just remembering your goals.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you wake up every morning? Why are you going to work? Why are you going to the gym? What is it leading to? So I always have my goals in mind, even if I'm, you know, mid-rep about to fail. My goal is just going through my mind. And just, you know, you only have one life. Why would you waste it being average? You just have to make the most of every single day and just push yourself every day.
What a mad. Let's get a.
I love that.
What a quote. Being
quote.
average.
What a quote that is. Look, that's going to be one of the best quotes we've heard on the podcast.
Damn.
Why be average? Who wants to be average?
Because no one remembers second best.
That's right.
Who was the second man to land on the moon?
Buzz Aldrin.
Buzz Aldrin.
Buzz Aldrin.
I was going to say who's the first. I was about to say Lance Armstrong.
Who was it?
What's his name? Oh, now I even forgot who came. Oh, I've stuffed myself.
Who?
The first guy that landed on the moon.
Neil
See, we didn't
Armstrong.
even know that.
Neil Armstrong. Oh, I was thinking Lance Armstrong, the cyclist.
He cycled there.
Yeah.
He got out on his bike.
Oh man. But you know what? You hit the nail on the coffin, nail on the head, nail on the
Nail
coffin.
on the head.
One of them.
Nail on the coffin's a different saying.
I'm buckling here, but motivation doesn't get you places. It's like people that like wake up and they just watch so many like motivational speeches and all that. It's like, okay, that's great, but
You can
if
be
you took
motivated for a day or a week or something like that,
yeah,
but to get results, you gotta stick to it for
Yeah.
a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4
Yeah.
years, forever.
like it's great to watch a motivational video, but when you're watching like multiple of them and it's like 10, 15, 20 minutes goes past, it's like you could have spent that 20 minutes doing other things. You know what I mean? Well, it's like when you're back in school and you start looking up how to study and you watch like half an hour videos of how to study. It's like you could have studied in that half an hour. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Discipline trumps everything.
But it's like when you said those last few reps of your set where those are the ones that count.
Yeah.
It's like on the days that you don't feel like getting up and going to work, those are the days that count.
Yeah.
So you have to make every day count.
Mad. And one thing you mentioned before is when people think, all right, what's the motivation? Like, where do you want to be? What's your end goal? For you know, why do you train? Why do you train so hard? What's the end goal for Lexi Hamad?
Well, I wouldn't really say I have an end goal. If there's an end goal, then what comes after the end goal? But my
True.
big goal for the next
Another quote.
few
It's a true.
There you go.
Yeah.
my big goal that goes through my mind every single day is becoming a professional bodybuilder. So it's something I've been training for about 3 years. So yeah, in those last few sets, all I think about is Ifbb Pro.
Yeah.
Like, I just want to be up on that stage knowing I got up every single day giving my best.
Mad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pro bodybuilder.
Pro bodybuilder. That's
not
pretty sick.
Not something you see very, very often. It's not something that a lot of people.
Really? I feel like it's all I see just because I'm ingrained in that culture, especially
Yeah,
on social
I guess
media.
so. I guess so.
Yeah.
I see a few people, but not that often, that are seriously training for bodybuilding comps and things like that.
Because that's a hard task. Like, because when you look at bodybuilding, there's not that much money involved in it. So you're putting in so much work, spending so much money on your nutrition, supplementation, making sure you get enough rest in, all while you're working and trying to make money to fund the or the possible career that comes out of it. But I guess, would you say that the biggest thing there is just like, what's the big motivation to be that Ifbb Pro? Has that always been the goal of yours, like since you're a kid, or is that just something you've developed over time?
Just something that's developed in the last 4 years. It's my goal because I just want to prove myself wrong. I just want to show myself what I'm actually capable of.
Yeah.
So I don't really do it to make it a career or, it's not.
Get there and figure out what's next.
Yeah, but it's not even that. It's just like, it's something that seems so out of reach. So when you can achieve something that is out of reach, it just proves that you and everybody else was wrong.
Yeah.
You know?
Respect. And how are you going on that journey now? Like, when do you think you could potentially reach that goal of where you're at now?
Well, I plan to
Is
step
it
on
planned
stage.
in your Google Calendar?
Look,
I
it's
gotta
like
stop. I gotta
next
stop
year.
with this.
Look, you're not wrong. So, but next year I want to get up on stage. So
Next
whatever.
year?
Yeah. So it's like a long process. It's not just like you
Yeah.
cut down for it and then that's it. There's so
No, I
much.
was gonna say
that-
like next year. That's so close. Like that's close.
Really? Because
That's-
I've been like I prepped for it 2 years ago, but then
Yeah.
lockdowns hit, so it
Yeah.
got cancelled. But yeah, within the year I want to be up on stage, and then whatever happens after that, it's just gonna happen.
That's sick.
What do you say to people that are like, you know, in that kind of culture in terms of kind of the health behind? Because a bit of background, a lot of people that are doing these bodybuilding things are on extreme kind of routines and diets and meal plans that are cutting a lot of calories for these kind of events, and over a very short period of time, a lot of the time. What do you say to people that are maybe taking it a bit too far in terms of it might be sacrificing their health? You know?
So, of course, bodybuilding is a extreme sport. You know, you're putting your body through literal starvation to get there. So I guess like with that extreme, it's mindset work as well, because otherwise it can lead to eating disorders, which I feel like gives bodybuilding such a bad rap. But I think also with the health side, like you're touching on that, I feel like we have to touch on steroids because
Yeah, that was the next question I was going to bring up.
a lot of people will do it without knowledge. So they'll just jump on gear and ruin their bodies. And it might not be such a major goal. So now you've just put all this stuff on your body to, you know, just, I guess, ruin your health. So just make sure you do it in a good way. You know, you've got a coach that knows what they're doing, and just work on your mindset a lot, because that's a big thing as well.
I feel like everyone in that culture knows someone that's like that or has been on that stuff. It's actually a disaster for a lot of these people that are on this, you know, the steroids, and
especially the younger generation.
I know.
It's like I can understand why people want to jump on steroids, and I want to hear your input on this too. Like, but I feel like people are taking it, especially young kids, as an easy way to get to the end goal without hitting their genetic potential first. You know, like back in the day, anyone that jumped on gear mainly was to compete, or because they already hit their genetic potential. And then they want to see, okay, how much further can I push it? But I think now it's just sort of the easy way out, and it's so popular and it's so much more talked about than, you know, back in like my brother's day, back when he used to train. So what's your opinion on like the whole, like why do you think it is that younger kids, you know, in their late teens, early 20s, jumping on gear?
Well, I just want to say it's not really an easy way out. You still have to work really hard, but of course it gives you an advantage. But I had a friend who told me he actually jumped on gear when he was about either 16, I think it was 16, which is just crazy to me because you've barely even grown. So I would always say, like, make sure you've reached your genetic potential. You've trained hard, you've, you know, eaten well, and you've actually gone to that limit to push yourself there. But I feel like social media is playing a big part because all these guys and women, they're posting about their bodies and flexing and everything, and everyone thinks, wow, I want to be like that. And so, I mean, half of the people don't know they're on gear, so they think it's possible. But also the other half is like, well, if I can look like that, I want to do that now. I don't want to wait. And this whole generation is impatient, right? So they don't want to work for that. They want it now.
That's like, because now you look at how technology has just made everything so fast. Like if you want to take it away from the gym, everything now it's like if you buy something online, it's like you got standard shipping. You'll pay the extra $15-$20 to go to express shipping because everything can just happen so much quicker. 100%. You know what I mean? Everything is just so quick and fast moving. I think you want to add something. I think you want to look like you're.
I was actually going to take a little bit of a segue.
Oh yeah, go.
So like steering away from kind of the steroids and stuff and going back into like your personal life. How do you find balancing your routine life versus your social life? And do you find that more of your friends are inclined to be training at your kind of level or be in that culture, or is that not something you kind of control with your friends?
What social life? No, I'm kidding. For me, like once I have a goal and once I have a structure, I can get so stubborn that I will just ghost everybody. Like I don't want to see anybody. I just want to wake up, gym, nothing else. Like nobody else matters, which it's good, but it's also bad because then I lose that balance. I mean, I have a lot of friends that are bodybuilders, but also I have a lot of friends that aren't.
Hannah, and there yet. That's it. Puts his hand up.
Aspiring bodybuilder, but not quite there.
Yeah.
So the friends that aren't into the gym as much as I am, they keep me grounded because they remind me that life outside of it exists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I shouldn't just get so like wrapped up in it. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to get into a segment that we all know and love
Mm-hmm.
called Grind My Gears.
Yep.
Household
Household favourite.
Yep, household favourite. But this fortnight is gym edition.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
You know, sticking to the theme of the gym and personal training. So I want to go around the small coffee table.
Yeah.
What is your biggest grind my gears at the gym? That moment that just frustrates you immensely with, you know, I'm assuming you train and there's a lot of people in the gym.
Can I list
Sometimes.
my top 3?
Yeah.
The more the merrier.
Absolutely.
Okay. I would say first, people that don't wear deodorant. That just like,
I got a mate that I could call out so bad right now.
Look,
and he probably knows who he is.
like I get that obviously you're going to smell after you've been training,
Yeah.
but when it's like gagging, when it just smell
When they walk past you and you just
so
like,
bad. Oh my god, so bad. Like as soon as I'm done my session, I'm spraying myself with deodorant with spray. I don't want to freaking smell. So just when it's gag, like yeah.
I got a friend that one time we went to the gym.
Yeah.
Like it was probably 6:30 in the morning, 7. I was training him at the time. Like this is a while back, and he smelled like obviously bad. And the gym owner, who's a friend of mine, he owns the gym. He comes out. He's like, "Which one of yous is it that stinks?" And he went inside his office, grabbed a can of deodorant, threw it at his head. I swear to God, actually hit his head.
Oh,
All
no.
right, and said, "Spray yourself right now."
Oh no.
You don't want to be
Never
the guy
met
that
this guy before in his life.
you don't want to be the guy that stinks. That's a bad one.
No,
It's a good one.
bad.
Good one to kick it off.
It is.
What's number 2?
Number 2 would be if you're, I guess, just hogging a piece of equipment for like 10 minutes on your phone.
Yeah.
Like I get rest periods can go for 2 to 3 minutes, but when you're just sitting there on your phone, like scrolling TikTok or something,
Oh,
like
yeah.
get up. Like
That's the
other
one I was
people-
going to say. The scrolling on social media
Oh my
during your
God.
mid-set.
I feel
Right.
like generally for equipment that's like usually used, you know, I don't really rest more than a minute, maybe a minute and a half. Like, especially if you're using dumbbells, something like that. I get if
Yeah.
people are doing deadlifts or heavy squats or heavy bench press, things like that. Those big movements, then you'll be resting for some time.
Yeah.
But besides that, there's no reason to be resting that long.
Yeah.
Especially
scrolling
on like
on
a leg
TikTok
extension. Like what are you wasting 10 minutes for a leg
yeah.
extension?
For a leg extension, you should be resting like 45 seconds.
Yeah, but you know what? Just the scrolling, like gym is a place where you should get away from all of that.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're still scrolling, like your mind is still preoccupied with that.
Your mind's not in the workout at that point.
No, and I've seen people on like a leg press and hack squat on their phone scrolling. Like, what are you doing?
I
You're
know.
mid exercise.
Yeah.
What?
It's
Like
ridiculous.
You said, some people aren't working out as hard as they think. they
Nah,
are.
No.
I remember once I was in the gym. I was doing squats. I got through, and there was a girl behind me on the leg press, scrolling social media. I got through all the sets, and everything, and she had not done one set. And that's like a good, and like that was, and that's doing squats. So that's a bit of a longer rest period there. So we're talking a good.
That's
10
embarrassing.
That's a good like 10 to 12 minutes scrolling through social media.
Yeah, wow.
I find that embarrassing for people.
Look, for anyone that's doing that, just put the phone down, please.
Yeah.
Please, put the phone down. The only thing you should be going on your phone for is to change the song on your playlist. That's about it.
Or to look at your program.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
do
that,
that.
yeah,
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 yeah.
of
Yeah,
course. Yeah.
So what's number 3?
Number 3.
Okay, so when I'm training hard, I grunt, okay? Like I can never really hear it because my music is so loud, but not like big grunts like that. But when somebody is moaning and actually grunting so loud,
Yeah.
it's like save that for the bedroom. Like now is not the time. You know what I mean? It's just bad.
There's a few people like that.
If you, yeah.
Can we have a demo, Lex?
No,
Can
definitely not.
Look, if that's how you're grunting in the bedroom, that's a bit. Oh, like a
Caveman
gorilla.
style.
Like a gorilla.
What about you, Sam?
Hey?
Do you have a big gym grind my gears?
I was also gonna say she's taken two of the grind my
No.
gears. All right, circle back to me. Let's go to you, Jack.
All right, so for me, I feel like this is relatable for a lot of guys in particular. Probably for girls too, but
Yeah.
I don't really know. But in particular with things like the bench press and a lot of the cable exercises, mainly for like the bench press,
Yeah.
and someone wants to work in with you, right?
Okay.
And you're a nice guy, so you decide, all right, I'm going to let this guy work in with me.
Yeah.
Sure. All right, we both seem to be resting the same amount. Anyways, he takes all my plates off the bar to put all of his plates on.
Yeah.
So now I've got to re-rack all of my plates and everything back on the bar
Yeah.
just for them to take it back off again.
Yeah.
Every set.
It's annoying.
It's the worst.
That is a really annoying. That is a good grind like
Because
gears.
now your rest
That's-
period is no longer the same amount of rest period because
Yeah.
half your rest period is going towards re-putting your plates back on your bar. And the only
Well, you know
reason
what?
the only reason I mention this is because it happened to me the other night.
I think this one's happened to everyone. But I got one. I see it very frequently, and I've seen it frequently, especially now. The talkers in the gym.
Oh,
the guy,
yes.
the people that talk for way too long in the gym. It's like you see your mate or whatever, and you say, "Hey, how you going?" and stuff. But when it turns into like a podcast episode,
Oh my god, happens
It's-
to me so often.
I know, like, yeah, and like, are you very social? Like you,
Yeah, like I've made some really good friends at the gym, so
Yeah.
when I see them, it's our catch up. But when it goes for 20 minutes,
Oh,
I'm just
man.
sitting there like, come on, let's go, like it's workout time.
I know you could have done like this. You borderline, you went through your whole workout routine time
Yeah.
frame
I
in one
know.
conversation.
It's like 10
It's
minute
like-
max, but yeah.
Keep 10 minutes. 10 minutes.
It's
That's
a
even a
lot. I
long
know,
time.
I
It should
know.
just be a, hey, how you going? How's life? How the kids doing? Like that's it. And then move on.
So I keep it to the minimum. Half of my gym friends, I don't even know or remember their names. We keep it to hey, how you doing? What are you training today? Working hard? You're looking big? Thanks.
That's it. The compliments, and then that's it. And you move on. Yeah,
that's it.
That's it. Oh.
Couple compliments. You're looking big, or you've put on a bit down here, man.
That's it. A little joke,
That's it.
little roast,
Little zinger and move on.
and that's it. And then just move on. Just go on to your workout. That's all right. What an episode, guys? You know, fantastic episode. Good to have
It
our
was.
good to have our first female guest on. You know, you've got quite the story. You've got quite the business. You know, and it's good. You've got some good goals ahead of you. You know, you're obviously going to be training for the IFB. You want to obviously get to the IFBB stage. We're gonna be there. I want to be on that. I want to be there. We want to be there watching.
Performing on that
Yes,
stage.
yes. We're gonna be right there.
Got a
with our
lot of
mic-
training to do. You might need to.
I'm not going to be on. I'm not on the stage. But look, Lexi, we do appreciate you coming on, taking
Thank
the
you
time
for
out of your.
having me.
No, we appreciate you taking the time out of your busy Google Calendar schedule to be with us here today and sharing your story. Obviously, you know you don't like talking about yourself, but you know we think that it's good for the everyday battler to share their story. So hopefully your story's inspired some people.
Thank you.
You know, whether that's in the gym or outside the gym. And Jackson, any final words from you?
No, just like what you said, man. Very good to have you on. A lot of insight, some good quotes that we can take away from this.
The quotable podcast.
You know, and if there's one thing for people to learn is, you know, be persistent, work hard, stick to a routine. You know, life's a routine.
Yeah.
And you know, your mental health will improve because of it too.
Mhm.
Yeah, and you know what? Let's end the podcast with some advice. If you could give one piece of advice to people that are listening now, what would that be?
Set a goal and never give up.
Set a goal and never give up. Beautiful. And again, thank you for coming on. And Lexi, what's the time for?
It's time to take the coals off.
Beautiful. just as we rehearsed. Thanks for listening, guys. We'll catch you in 2 weeks. Thanks everyone for tuning into this week's episode of the Sunday Smoke Podcast. If you're watching us on YouTube, don't forget to smash that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe.
If you're listening to us on Spotify, Apple Podcast or any audio podcast streaming service, please leave us a review. Also, be sure to follow and contact us on our social media platforms. You can find us on Instagram at The Sunday Smoke, and you can catch us on TikTok at The Sunday Smoke Clips.
If those aren't your style and want to keep it old school, hit up our email, thesundaysmoke@gmail.com. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for listening. We'll see you on the next episode of The Sunday Smoke. And with that said, what's the time for, Jackson?
Time to take the coals off.
Beautiful.